Before we dive into tonight's terrifying tale, make sure to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us bring you more spine-chilling stories. Drop a comment below telling us where in the world you're watching from and what time it is on your end. Let's see who's brave enough to watch this at 3 a.m. Picture a winding rural road swallowed by dense, shadowy woods. The night is thick with fog, the kind that clings to your skin and muffles the world. A beat-up sedan rattles along, its headlights slicing through the haze, barely illuminating the path ahead. Inside, Emma, a sharp-eyed woman of 28, grips the steering wheel, her knuckles pale with tension. Beside her, Jake, 30, easygoing but weary, scrolls through his phone, its glow casting eerie shadows across his face. The radio hums faintly, static crackling through an old country song, as if the air itself is struggling to breathe. Emma's eyes dart to the darkness beyond the road, where the trees seem to lean closer, their branches clawing at the sky. She feels it, a prickle on her neck, like the woods are watching. Jake, oblivious, chuckles softly, dismissing her unease as nerves from the long drive. They're headed to their new home, a Victorian house they bought at a suspiciously low price, a steal they couldn't resist. The realtor mentioned a history, vague and unsettling, but Jake brushed it off as an old house charm. Emma, though, can't shake the feeling that something is waiting for them. The car rounds a bend and the house looms into view, a jagged silhouette against the moonless sky. Its gables stab upward like broken bones, and its windows stare down, empty and unblinking, like the eyes of a predator. The sedan pulls into the gravel driveway, tires crunching loudly in the oppressive silence. The headlights flicker, then die. The engine stalls. The night swallows them whole. Inside, the foyer is a cavern of shadows. Dust motes dance in the beam of Jake's flashlight, the only light in a space that feels too vast, too alive. The air reeks of mildew and something sour, like grief left to rot. Emma clutches a box of their belongings, her eyes darting to the corners where the darkness seems to pulse. The staircase spirals upward, its banister carved with faces, half human, half something else, their eyes glinting in the dim light. A faded portrait hangs on the wall, a stern woman in a high-necked dress, her gaze boring into them, unyielding and cold. They climb the creaking stairs, each step groaning as if protesting their presence. The hallway at the top stretches into darkness, lined with closed doors that seem to whisper secrets. The master bedroom is massive, its four-poster bed draped in dusty sheets, a cracked mirror hanging above a dresser, reflecting the room in distorted fragments. Emma shivers, the cold biting through her coat as she notices faint scratches on the ceiling. Chaotic and deep, like something clawed its way out, Jake flops onto the bed, kicking up a cloud of dust, trying to lighten the mood. But Emma can't relax. The house feels wrong, like it's holding its breath, waiting. As they settle in, a low, rhythmic thumping echoes from deep within the house like a heartbeat, slow and deliberate. Jake dismisses it as old pipes, but Emma's not convinced. The sound stops abruptly, leaving a silence that feels heavier than before. In the mirror, a flicker of movement catches her eye, a shadow passing behind her, gone when she turns. They crawl into bed, pulling the musty sheets over them, but the room feels alive, the walls pulsing with unseen eyes. As they drift into uneasy sleep, the mirror reflects something else, a faint, humanoid shape, its edges blurring into the dark, watching them. Dawn seeps through heavy curtains, casting long shadows across the bedroom. Emma wakes with a start, her breath visible in the freezing air. Jake snores softly, oblivious to the chill that grips the room. In the mirror, Emma's reflection looks wrong, her eyes too wide, her skin too pale. For a moment, it doesn't move with her, just stares, unblinking. She shakes it off, blaming exhaustion, and heads downstairs to the kitchen. The kitchen is a relic, with yellowed linoleum and rusted appliances, a sink stained with something dark and unnameable. Emma brews coffee, the pot gurgling like a dying animal. Outside, the woods press closer, their branches scraping the windows. A faint whisper drifts through the room, forming words. "It sees you." Emma freezes, the mug slipping from her hands. shattering on the floor, coffee pooling like blood. She calls for Jake, but he's still upstairs, asleep. The whisper fades, leaving her trembling, questioning her sanity. Outside in the overgrown backyard, Jake hauls boxes from the car, sweat beading on his forehead despite the chill. The yard is choked with twisted vines, wrapping around an old stone well that seems to hum with a faint, unnatural energy. Emma joins him, broom in hand, her face pale. She mentions calling the realtor, who said the last owners fled in a hurry, leaving everything behind. Jake shrugs it off, insisting it's just old house quirks, but Emma's not so sure. She kneels by the well, peering into its black depths, where the air smells of damp earth and something metallic. A cold breath grazes her neck, whispering, "You're mine." She stumbles back, gasping, as Jake rushes to her side, his flashlight revealing nothing but darkness in the well. They hurry back inside, but the camera lingers on the well, where a clawed hand grips the edge, then slips back into the shadows. That night, they sit on a sagging couch in the living room, surrounded by half-unpacked boxes. A single lamp flickers, casting jagged shadows. Emma flips through an old journal she found in a drawer, its pages yellowed, filled with frantic handwriting. It speaks of the house watching its occupants at night, feeding on their dreams, growing stronger with their fear. Jake skims it, his face hardening, dismissing it as the ravings of a madman, but Emma's not convinced. The lamp flickers out, plunging them into darkness. A low growl rumbles from the walls, like the house itself is waking. Jake's phone flashlight catches a figure in the corner. Tall, thin, its face a blur of teeth and eyes. It vanishes as the lamp flickers back on, leaving them shaken, the journal's words echoing in their minds. Emma lies awake that night, staring at the ceiling, where the scratches now form words. "We see you." Jake sleeps beside her, unaware of the mirror, where the bed's reflection is empty. A creak comes from the hallway, the door slightly ajar despite being locked earlier. Emma grabs a flashlight, her breath shallow, and steps into the hallway, a tunnel of darkness thick with the stench of rot. She passes closed doors that seem to breathe, stopping at one with a knob cold and slick, like it's sweating. Inside is a small room lined with mirrors, reflecting her in endless fragments. In each, something stands behind her, its face obscured by shadow. A voice hisses from all directions. "We are the house." Emma screams, dropping the flashlight, which spins, casting wild shadows as she runs back to the bedroom, slamming the door. Jake wakes, startled, as Emma dives into bed, trembling. The mirror is normal now, but the ceiling scratches have changed to "We feed." Jake grabs the journal, reading about the house's hunger, its need for fear, and a cryptic warning: the only way out is to face it. They huddle together, the room growing colder, the air heavy with unseen eyes. The next morning, they descend into the basement, armed with flashlights and a crowbar. The stairs groan, the air thick with decay. The basement is a maze of cobwebs and rusted tools, the dirt floor soft, almost alive. They find a locked door, its wood blackened and warped. Jake pries it open, revealing a chamber with a stone altar, stained with dark, crusted streaks. Above it, a spiral symbol with eyes at its edges is carved into the wall, matching the journal's description of the house's makers. A low hum vibrates in their bones, and the altar pulses, a shadow moving across it, formless but alive. It takes shape, a humanoid figure with too many limbs, its eyes wood glowing like embers. It lunges and they flee, the door slamming shut behind them. Back in the living room, they board up the basement door, but the house feels more alive than ever. The walls creak, the windows rattle, and whispers hum in the air. The journal suggests the house feeds on fear, weakening if they can face it without terror. But the shadows grow bolder, the mirrors reflecting things that shouldn't be there. Clawed hands, eyeless faces, a figure that mimics their movements but isn't them. Each night, the house tightens its grip, the scratches on the ceiling spelling new messages. You can't leave. Emma and Jake try to stay awake, to deny the house their fear, but exhaustion creeps in. The mirrors show them sleeping. Even when they're awake, their reflections trapped in a nightmare they can't escape. One night, Emma finds another room, hidden behind a false wall in the attic. It's filled with old photographs, each showing former residents, pale, hollow-eyed, staring directly at the camera. In every photo, a shadow looms behind them, growing clearer with each image. The final photo is of the stern woman from the foyer portrait, her eyes replaced by black voids. A note tucked inside reads, "The house chooses one to keep, the other feeds it." Emma's heart pounds as she realizes the house wants a sacrifice. She rushes to Jake, who's in the kitchen, staring at the sink, where the dark stains seem to writhe. They argue silently, fear driving a wedge between them. Jake wants to burn the house down, to destroy whatever lives within, but Emma hesitates. They've sunk everything into this place. The house senses their division, the whispers growing louder, urging them to turn on each other. That night, the figure appears in the bedroom, no longer hiding in the mirrors. It's tall, its limbs bent at wrong angles, its face a shifting mass of eyes and teeth. It doesn't attack, it watches, feeding on their terror. Desperate, they return to the basement, determined to destroy the altar. The hum is deafening now, the air thick with the stench of blood. The shadow figure waits, its form more solid, its eyes locked on them. Jake swings the crowbar, but it passes through the figure like smoke. Emma, clutching the journal, reads the final passage. To end it, offer what it wants. She realizes the truth. One of them must give in to the house's hunger. The figure points at Jake, its voice a chorus of whispers. Him. Emma screams, pulling Jake back, but the house reacts. The walls shake, the mirrors crack, and the floor splits, revealing a void beneath. Jake stumbles, his foot caught in the dirt, which pulses like a heartbeat. Emma grabs his arm, but the figure is there, its clawed hand on Jake's shoulder. In a moment of panic, Emma pushes Jake toward the altar, tears streaming down her face. The figure consumes him, his screams echoing as the void swallows him whole. The house grows still, the hum fading, the mirrors clearing. Emma staggers upstairs, alone. The house is quiet, the air warm for the first time. The scratches on the ceiling are gone, the mirrors reflecting only her. She packs a bag, her movements mechanical, and walks out the front door. The car starts without issue, the headlights steady. As she drives away, the house watches, its windows glinting like eyes. The final shot lingers on the foyer portrait, where the stern woman's face has changed. It's Emma now, her eyes hollow, forever part of the house. And so the house waits, silent and patient, for its next guests. It watches, it feeds, and it never forgets. Sleep well, dear listener, if you can.